below the video.
You are listening to Lone Star ZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC-LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show, and we have a great show for you today. Our program really consists in looking for ways to help our members become more visible, help our members talk about their platform, talk about their message, give us their message, and of course, share information. And it's really made and produced for members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And we have several branches, like you know, of course, the Woodlands-Conroe. We have Spring, Katy, Galleria, Greater Lake, Houston, and so on and so forth. So from wherever you came from, thank you so much for listening. And if you're not a member of our organization, to become a member, it's really simple. You can just reach out to me right now. You can text me, 469-879-7398. A lot of folks text during this show asking specific questions of our guests. And today is no different. If you have any questions or anything like that we can answer, of course, there's a big disclaimer there. If we can answer those questions, of course, we will be happy to. Our guest today, and we're very happy she's here, is an attorney. She's a business attorney. And she practices here in South Montgomery County, or in this whole area of the Woodlands-Conroe area. And she'll explain. This is Lee Freeman. Lee, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Carlos. This is a great opportunity that, as you said, you offer to all the members of the Hispanic Chamber, and just a great opportunity for us to engage more with the community, and I'm thankful to be here.
And at least, let them know that you're doing what you're doing. And it's not just pictures. We also, you want our members to be heard. So a couple of things real quick. Obviously, Lee is not Hispanic, and that's pretty important, because you don't have to be Hispanic to join our chamber. We have about 460 members now. They're all business owners. And but yes, how do you reach all these people? Obviously, radio is a wonderful way of doing it. And so one of the benefits that we just talked about earlier at our meeting is our members have this benefit as part of their package of benefits when they join. So if you're a member and you have not been on this radio show, just let me know. It's likely that if you send me an email, the first email, I might ignore it, just because, I don't know. I can't respond. I get too many emails every day. It's just one of those. I still get like over 100 emails.
Wow.
And I just can't answer them. So I might ignore it. So insist. And we tell people that all the time. Don't get offended. I mean, it's amazing how people, I'm not saying everyone, but there's some folks, that need your help, that want your help. But then the moment you do something that they don't like, that's it. They get offended and leave, as though they're punishing me. You know what I mean? It's like the reason they showed up because they need your help.
Yes.
And then, I'm sure you see that in your practice as well, right? As a business attorney, I'm sure you see that sometimes where you have to say no to people.
Unfortunately, yes. Mm-hmm. There are times when a business owner comes to me and has unreasonable expectation.
There you go. Great way of putting it.
Of what I can do for them and or what they need. And unfortunately, it is a business. Mm-hmm. I am a small business owner, like many of our other members in the Hispanic Chamber. Mm-hmm. And so, managing expectations is something that we all need to do as business owners. And in the beginning, I won't lie, I took it personally, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I told that person, I quoted too high of a fee, or told them something that, maybe I should have done something for pro bono that, I wasn't comfortable doing, what have you. And ultimately, you have to realize that the people who appreciate and realize the value of your service, those are going to be the clients that are going to come back.
Either way.
And are going to give you referrals and refer them to different. If they don't appreciate you from the beginning, that's someone you should.
Interesting the way you put it, because when we started our chamber about a year into it, all we did was tell people, you're coming to me for help, and I'm going to tell you what you need, and you're going to listen to me, and that doesn't work. So we were on the other side, where I wasn't so worried about upsetting people as much as I was worried about helping people. And you have to be worried about both. It's one of those.
Exactly. It is a balance.
But there is a time, though, where you do have to say, look, Either you're here for fixing or you're not.
Exactly.
And so I've always told our members the same thing. I mean, I know that this chamber is not for everyone. It isn't. You have to be willing to get better when you show up. And we talked about, people that sometimes show up to our meetings unprepared, or they show up with no desire to be seen, for instance. When that's what we do as a Chamber of Commerce, it's like, visibility. So when you show up with different expectations than the ones we deliver, yeah, there might be a little bit there might be a concern on some part, but I think what matters there is that we stand true to the same thing. Our Chamber of Commerce is about member visibility is number one.
Yes.
Education, business connections, and community. They're the other three things that we do, but your visibility really matters, because I do know that there's so many, we talked about it earlier too. I mean, there's so many other groups out there that don't care about your visibility. They care about their own visibility. You know what I mean? So if your expectations have not been met, or if you've been, let's just put it, if you've been touched by Carlos, all right, we apologize, but please, and please come back. Don't make excuses for not coming back based on that. I mean, it's like if I hire you as an attorney, and all of a sudden you tell me I can't do something because it's going to hurt my business, and if I get upset with you, but I already paid you, who's losing there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bad proposition all the way around.
Well, I think a key concept to glean from that point is that as small business owners, we all need to be coachable,
sure,
right? Because we all have our areas of expertise, but we can't be a jack of all trades. I mean,
True.
No one is. So I need to be willing to ask for help when it comes to my marketing
Sure.
and social media. And business owners should not be willing to shy away for asking for help with their legal matters.
Absolutely. And that's a big deal, because legal tends to be also, it's scary. So for a lot of people, they feel uncomfortable. They're not sure. And just because they're not sure, it's the same thing as going to a doctor, or the same, you never want to go when it's an emergency. You want a lot of prevention can be done. And in a very cordial, nice setting, you guys can have lunch and you're preventing issues, versus having to be giving a deposition or being in court, and now you're in trouble, and which is undesirable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about my job, is that my goal is to always help business owners try and get it right from the beginning. It can be scary,
Sure.
Starting your own business and getting out there is daunting. And again, you have all kinds of different issues that you're trying to pay attention to,
Sure.
and different areas that you need to budget for.
Absolutely.
And are you putting, the budget in for legal from the beginning? In my opinion, yes, you need to be doing that, or you're not doing your business. You're doing yourself and your business a disservice.
Almost like budgeting to have some sort of bookkeeping, somebody helping you with your numbers. It's the same thing with legal.
Exactly. There are professionals in those. Same thing with taxes.
Right. Oh,
when you're a business owner, that's a point in time where if you haven't before, you need to start getting advice with your taxes.
Absolutely.
And there's just too many things that change, whether it be in the field of taxes or legal, that, as a business owner, put that as part of you have a marketing budget, you have a budget for your HR, a budget for your payroll. You should budget for things like legal and tax advice.
And I know that I've done it both ways. And I know, over the past 20 years. Yeah. And whenever I've not thought about actually hiring someone, but I've thought about the problems that could come, and I've not done it, it's always cost me a lot more money, especially things like, you incorporate 2 years into it, or you do something that you could have done way before, but either you procrastinated or you got too busy because you were busy. And you just have to realize, if you're listening, and if you haven't talked to an attorney in a while, just get a checkup. See if there's anything that you need to be doing now as a business, whatever age you are in business. It'll be very beneficial to you. And Lee Freeman, of course, is with us today. Lee, I was going to tell you about this. All right, we just went to a networking event.
Yes, sir.
We do this every week. So right here on 45 and Research Boulevard, Research Forest.
Yes.
Right here in Shenandoah, or the Woodlands.
Yes.
Spring Creek Barbecue. So we do this meeting every week, and basically it doesn't run like normal meetings. We try to run them a little bit different, holding up your highest intention, which is networking, getting to know people versus just, talking to people. And so how have you found this meeting versus other meetings that you've been to?
Sure. Well, I would say the biggest thing that I notice about this meeting is the focus that is brought to the meeting. And it's not just everyone giving their quote 30-second or however long it may be, 60-second commercial.
Mind-numbing 60 seconds.
Yes. With your guidance and proven methods, you are able to focus the group so that in a shorter amount of time, you can build a deeper relationship and knowledge with the other business owners that you're there with. And I mean, that's why we're there.
Yeah.
We are there to learn about other businesses in the community, to understand what they're doing, what's new in their industry. I mean, pretty much at every single meeting, I learned something new that someone is doing out there in the community that I didn't know even existed, or they're doing it in a way that I didn't realize.
Sure.
And, having that network is really a benefit that I'm able to offer my clients, for example, or the people that I deal with on a daily basis. You don't need to go to Google. I know I have personal relationships with people. It's very different, and it's very important. And we all support each other as small business owners, and know some of the struggles that we're going through, and can help with the different educational seminars that you offer.
We have 2 more that are coming up now, and we're going to do 60-second commercials again, and social media training. And social media, I don't think will ever go away. I always thought it's kind of funny that we get the people that come in as experts in social media. There's a difference between being an expert and being an addict. Right? I'm an addict, for instance. Right? I'm on social media a lot.
You are in social media a lot.
But I do it for a purpose. I don't do it just to show people my feet or pictures of my dog.
What you had for dinner.
My feet is by the pool. That's what people, anyway. I don't understand that, but I don't do that. But I do have some expertise. I do know when to do it and how to do it a little bit. Okay. A lot of the folks that show up as social media teachers or companies are folks that are really like me. They're amateurs. They're not real. They weren't trained at Facebook and at LinkedIn and stuff. They know a lot about it because they've been doing it for so long. Okay.
Sure.
There's a difference between paying for that and paying for somebody who actually has expertise. And that's really hard to distinguish.
It is hard to distinguish. I know as a small business owner, myself, I have been approached by a lot of different companies and a lot of different individuals doing the social media marketing, online marketing, and it can be difficult to figure out who knows what they're doing and who doesn't. And that's why it's so, and that can be the case with, put that in any industry. Put that in, that's just an example, not to,
we're not knocking on social media peeps.
We're not knocking on social media peeps at all, whether it be air conditioning, whatever it is, that's what you gain by going to events that you host and offer through the Hispanic Chambers,
visibility,
that you get visibility, and you get to know the individuals behind the business.
Right, and you can ask them questions and actually look at their response versus, you can't see the response when it's through Google or something like that. So anyway, we had this meeting today on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays tomorrow in Katy, a place called Cape Cod Cafe. Ever been?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Good food.
Wonderful food. I love seafood. And
they have the best lobster bisque ever.
Yes.
I love it there. So Cape Cod on Wednesday. On Thursday, we're at Chama Gaucha, which is a Brazilian steakhouse in the Galleria area. Friday, we have new member orientation. So if you've never been to new member orientation and you're listening, this invitation is for you. Don't expect me to send you a Facebook. Just show up. Friday at 8:30 a.m. at a place called Vanguard Insurance, which is right there on Grogan's Mill and Sawdust. That's the Woodlands version. We have an orientation in Katy and one also in the Galleria, but that's coming up. Then Friday for lunch, is we have our Spanish-only meeting. So this is a new thing we're doing. We're a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Last year, we did a couple of Spanish-only meetings, and they weren't as successful by any means as these have been recently. About 40 people who only speak Spanish or who only do business in Spanish. It's a whole different crowd. It's a whole different way of running a meeting too. It's just different,
Sure.
So if you know someone who speaks Spanish as part of your business, please send them. We're going to be at Cilantro's. Cilantro's is on Rayford. Is it Rayford or Sawdust? Rayford.
It's on. I think that turns into Rayford there. Yeah.
It's funky, and it doesn't matter. Look it up. Cilantro's Mexican Grill in the Woodlands, and that's on Friday at 11:30 a.m.
I had a friend who attended the first meeting last week, Juan Morales with Longevity Media Solutions, and
he joined.
He loved the meeting, and is one of our newest members now.
Wow.
So,
Juan, if you're listening, where were you today, Jack? We're waiting for you at our meeting. It's okay. We'll see you soon, Juan. So we're talking to Lee Freeman. Lee Freeman is a business attorney. She has a world of information that's going to share with us about different things. So when we come back, we're going to listen and learn a lot more. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, president of the Woodlands-Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show, coming to you live from the great city of Conroe. You know, a lot of folks don't know this, but Conroe is one of the fastest growing cities in our country. In fact, this area has been featured all over the world as one of the best places to live. And what really people don't know is that if you walk around the streets of Conroe, yeah, it's pretty Hispanic, man. I mean, there's a lot of Hispanic folks up here. And so we're really happy that we're broadcasting from this city. We're happy about the diversity in Conroe, and we're happy you're listening. So we're here with Lee Freeman. Again, Lee, business attorney.
Yes, sir.
Lee also is a mom.
Yes.
She's a business owner.
Yes.
And she is all over the place in terms of her business and where she can operate and stuff like that. So I've known her for about a year, you know, back and forth, different situations, different scenarios, and always the highest praise. So a big idea and a big question for Lee is, why are you not working like in a firm and stuff? You know, because you're a mom, and most mom attorneys I know, and in fact all the mom attorneys I know, because I don't know a lot of them, you know, they're not on their own. They're not doing their own thing. You know, so you're a small business owner, like you're an entrepreneur.
I am an entrepreneur, and I love helping other entrepreneurs. So that's why I do what I do. I actually grew up in a small business. My parents and grandparents owned a John Deere dealership in western Nebraska.
Really? You sold tractors? Wow.
Yeah, I sold tractors and combines and planters and discs and all kinds of other farming implements. And, you know, so that I sort of didn't even realize at the time that I was getting my education as what is it like to run and operate a small business, and what are those challenges. And the challenges are even more magnified when you're doing it with your family. Of
course.
Right? So,
but let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
That's important.
Okay.
When you say more magnifying,
yes.
Get more specific. What do you mean?
I would say because there are higher emotional attachments involved.
So the bigger thing is this. The wins are bigger,
yes.
but so's the fear.
Yes.
So's the anxiety, so's the worry, so's like, oh my God, how are we going to pay the workers, or how are we going to pay ourselves? And the decisions you make when it's a family-based business just change. The intensity changes, you know?
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. And so earlier in my career, I actually did a lot of commercial litigation. So lawsuits involving businesses, mostly small businesses. And some of those happened to involve families or other situations where it was, best friends or that type of thing who had gone into business with each other. And at some point down the road, a disagreement
ensued. They forgot to write it down.
And either they forgot to write it down or they wrote down several different things that were conflicting. And one side was now saying, well, this is the document that governs, and the other side.
Let me say this, just for those of you listening, guys, come on, listen up. You're not a lawyer. Don't act like a lawyer. Don't think you're a lawyer. Get one and let them look at whatever you wrote. And above all, when she says you need to tear this up and do it again, because you can really regret that. I mean, that's part of what I'm learning right now. And I've experienced the same thing. Yeah. You have one expectation and it's very different from the other person's expectation.
And that is the huge thing that having your business relationships documented gives you, is that those expectations are written from the beginning, ideally. Now, that's not to say that I haven't also helped clients who have been in business for years and say, you know what, I think this is what our corporate documents say, but we're not sure. Can you look at those for us? And sure enough, well, as a business owner, those are not the things that are at the forefront.
But if you have to start a conversation with saying, I think I'm covered, not a good way to start a conversation.
Yeah. And you want to have those plans in place before something comes up. Because at that point, if you're already in a dispute, you're already in a disagreement, it's going to be much more difficult, much more expensive when you get an attorney involved to try and unravel a mess.
You can't make up the document and then sign it retroactively. That might not work.
Well, the problem is the parties are never going to agree on what that document
is. One way or the other.
Or they will, but it'll be after going through a painful process of some litigation and some discovery. And you're talking about depositions earlier. That is probably one of the worst things that a small business can go through. And many small businesses do not survive it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just can't stress enough that it's so much more economical, time saving, and saving those relationships. Because especially in a family situation, if there's a disagreement that happens, if you have an exit strategy in place, then here's how we do it.
None of us can't even pronounce the word exit strategy. Come on.
You don't like exit strategy?
No, I like it.
Okay.
But come on. That's hard for people to think about.
Yes. Well, I liken it sometimes to, thinking about your estate planning.
Okay.
People don't want to think about what's going to happen if you pass away. Where are the kids going to go? Where's your money going to go? Who's going to be in control of that? Yeah. In the beginning of a business, same thing. You're focused on looking forward. You don't want to think about the end. So
let me ask you this, Lee, then. Do you have like a paper or something, like an audit or some sort of system that you follow? Like, I need to check, for example, if I take my car to the mechanic to look at 10 things to make sure that my vital signs are good, just like a doctor would, right?
Sure.
They measure certain things. Do you have a certain measurement that you do for small businesses?
So what I would liken that to is I have what I call the 3 steps or the 3 pillars of protecting your small business.
Sounds like a seminar.
Yeah, it could be, I suppose.
You've given it to us. What do you mean?
Yes. Okay. So what it entails is, first is the basic step of setting up an entity, incorporating your business. And,
that would be all in line.
Yes. And what that's doing is giving you protection of your personal assets from being subject to your business creditors. It's separating out your personal finances and your business finances. And then once you've incorporated, you have to, that has upkeep with it. You can't just, assume that everything is fine from then on. You need to do the next step, which is to get your foundational contracts set up for your business. And those are your contracts internally, your partnership agreement that has that, whether you call it a prenup for your business, that kind of thing. Making sure that that's in place and everyone understands what happens when this is over, because everything comes to an end at some point. And as well as your contracts with third parties, your vendors, your suppliers, your employees. that's, another huge liability for small business owners is dealing anytime that you're adding employees or even contractors to the mix.
For example, small business owners that are listening to us right now, if any of this sort of raised a red flag or something, they have concerns or questions, can they just give you a buzz and try to figure out where they stand with all this?
Sure. I mean, I would say that business owners should contact, legal counsel, whether that be me or someone else that they feel comfortable with. But the important thing is to do it proactively.
Right.
And if, for example, you're 5 years in and you say, oh, well, we never had our partnership agreement set up from the beginning, now's the time to do it.
Sure.
It's not too late. And it's like you suggested earlier on, go in for a checkup and make sure that what you think you have documented in your business is actually what's being done.
So, and bring whatever documents you have. And a big thing there is that if you don't have any documents, well, then maybe that's why you need to go in and check yourself out.
And even that process, just like you have a filing system for your receipts, you should have a filing system and a safekeeping place for your corporate records.
Absolutely.
Because it's just like anything else. You get hit by a bus, God forbid, and then people go looking for the documents. And I've, again, been in a lot of different litigation situations or lawsuits where people just can't find the signed document, or they've paid an attorney good money for a document and they never signed it.
Wow.
And so then it becomes a fact issue of, well, did they mean to have this or not? So, just following through with some of those, what maybe kind of pesky housekeeping things can really be so preventative.
Let me tell you this too. I really think that you're onto something here that is meaningful to 449 of our 450 members, and that's that they actually understand the kind of relationship they're in as a business owner or as an employer, employee, just all that. If they don't understand that clearly, then there's a big self-confidence factor there, but also there's a risk, and so I'm trying to figure out what would be a great way of talking to our members or continue talking to our members about being aware of this, because there's so many other things out there. They had like national curly hair day. And then the hair people show up and they want to talk to you about their hair. And then there's national, cholesterol and all the weight loss folks. Yeah. But is there a national, are you really in business day or something?
I'm not sure if there's a national check your legal documents day.
But that would be a good one to have.
Yeah, we should.
Let's start thinking about it. Anyway.
Let's think about that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not, because there's nothing, there's very few things more meaningful than actually that. You know what I mean? It's like you have to have a business plan or a marketing plan. But if you're not legally constituted, if all that piece is not in place, then you're so vulnerable. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's going to catch up to you one way or another. And again, especially in the situation where there's more than one owner in the business, you really need to have an exit strategy, a succession plan, or some type of an agreement. And then the other huge risk that you definitely, if you haven't talked to an attorney about already, you should be, is your employees.
Yeah.
How are you complying with all the wage and hour laws?
I think a lot of
change all the time.
A lot of people actually hire employees either through like a contractor, so that they don't have to give them benefits, whatever they think, and then they pray, that they don't injure themselves, that they don't sue them, all these things because they have no background. You know what I mean? They have no.
Yeah, it's very common for small business owners to think that, by hiring a contractor rather than an employee, I'm limiting my liability or I'm limiting my risk. In some situations, it's actually riskier to have a contractor because if the IRS or the Department of Labor, the Texas Workforce Commission, eventually determines that, no, that person was actually your employee, you are out what you've already paid this contractor, and then you're subject to fines.
See, that's only 3 institutions that you mentioned, right? IRS, the Department of Labor, and then the third one. I'm not sure which
Texas Workforce Commission.
Those folks.
Yeah.
What you haven't mentioned and what we haven't talked about at all about all these things are the people on television telling you, sue them, get them. I'm upset just like you are. I want to, and then they go after employers for all kinds of different things, So if you're not, and that's a big thing, if you're not prepared or if you're not aware or if you're simply not proactive enough, this is something that can cost you your business, So it really does matter. If it's not with Lee Freeman, obviously, get legal counsel, figure out what foundational documents you must have. Like she said, especially if you're working with your uncle or, even if it's a spouse, you have to have that agreement. And of course with your employees, because there is one thing about employees that when they can, they do, they'll come after you. If there's enough, if there's enough there for them to fight, they'll come after you.
So complying with those wage and hour laws, the classification of the employee versus contractor, those are definitely examples where, as you've said, whether it be through a private lawsuit or a government agency has come in and done an audit, it can ruin your business.
Absolutely.
Another thing that employers are very concerned about is what happens when my employee leaves. How do I protect my business that I have built and the knowledge and skills and know-how and secrets that I have passed along to that employee?
We have plenty of secrets.
Well, I mean,
I know what you mean.
We call it the reason I use that word is a trade secret is defined by statute, and it's some special technique or process. It's kind of a vague concept, but if you have a special way of doing something in your business that other people in the industry don't know, it's not something that you can just Google. It's something that you've developed.
Like a real thing,
a real thing that you've developed. You want to be able to protect that.
Right.
And so when you're hiring employees, you want to make sure that you have an agreement that is, requiring that person.
Let me give you a great example of that. I have a friend, this is years back, who was a manufacturer in Dallas, and he used to make chairs. Right? But he had a real specific way of making those chairs, but they were made specifically by his staff, who at some point he was never able to extract the procedures and document them. So the staff quit, some of them, the main ones, and then all of a sudden he had stiff competition out of Mexico. Well, his staff moved to Mexico, took all the secrets with them, and were competing with the guy that gave him employment up here. And, we would ask him, is there anything? He goes, there's nothing I can do about it. I never documented it. I never told them not to. This is something they just did. And now, I'm competing at a national and even a global level with these guys who just took them. They took the secrets because they were the secret. But this guy never protected themselves, because that happens a lot too, that employees get so good at what they do.
Yes. And so there's a real tension between the employer and the employee. So the employer wants to protect their business, wants to protect that confidential information, wants to protect their customers, and the employees, they want to have freedom to change their job.
They want money.
Yeah, they want money. They want to be able to take a better offer and be able to make a living.
Absolutely.
So in terms of non-competition agreements and non-solicit agreements, those are things that are governed by Texas statute to try and balance those issues.
So they can be enforced.
They can be enforced. However, there are limitations, and they do have to be customized for the certain situation.
And that's major, even for guys that have landscaping companies and all kinds of, because they even steal their clients. And there's all these things that if you're not protected, if you're not aware of these things, guys, please pay attention, because this information is for you. And by no means are we trying to be, scaremongers or anything like that. We're not trying to scare you into anything. But listen, if you're not following a procedure that's protecting you, then this is something you want to take a look at. And when we come back, we're going to talk more to Lee Freeman. She's a business attorney giving us some great information. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5. 106.1.
Health Center Southeast Texas is a federally qualified health center. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most major private insurances. For our self-pay patients, we have a sliding scale discount program available. Our health centers have qualified providers and staff striving every day to provide the best quality of care to our patients. Services offered are family medicine, behavioral health services, telepsychiatry, and pediatrics. We have 4 area locations. Look up the Health Center Southeast Texas online at hcset.com.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the EML Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The EML Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the ML Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the ML Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The ML Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.mlagency.com. The ML Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
We're back. We are back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show. And I think you can see me. Here you go. Because we've been ignoring the public since we started, Lee. And I think that camera right there is looking at us. Yeah. Say hello to the peeps.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
So we're here with Lee Freeman. Lee Freeman is a business attorney. And Lee, why don't you go ahead and repeat just like your name and your spiel, if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Lee Freeman. I'm an attorney in the Woodlands, Texas, and I represent small businesses in transactional matters. So I help small businesses with incorporation, with setting up their business, also with negotiating and drafting the contracts that make up their business in the different life cycle stages that a business might go through, whether it be adding employees, adding investors, entering into a partnership with some other business owners, all the way up to selling your business. So my name is Lee Freeman, and I'm a business law attorney in the Woodlands.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you. So, all right, you said a whole bunch of things that I think were really okay. Here's the thing. For example,
yes.
Today someone joined our chamber who is 4 months away from opening her business. And she tells us that she's very proud of this, and she should be very proud of this because it's so rare that she has a business plan. She's going to open a hair salon.
That's great.
Right? So, yeah, right there you already know, okay, someone with a business plan, yeah, that's someone who's thinking along the right lines. This is a person that at some point I'm going to approach for her ribbon cutting and for other things like that. But certainly I have to ask her, have you done your legal audit yet? Would that be the right way? What do we do? Meant to say it? Have you done your legal thing? That wouldn't be the right way.
Well, just have you consulted an attorney? Because
that might be too scary. How do you say it in a way that's easier for
Have you
consumer?
talked to an attorney?
Same word.
All right. Have you talked to someone?
Are you legal? I don't know. How do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I have to ask them the right questions.
Okay.
That they'll say, no, I haven't talked to an attorney, but I can't say necessarily those words like that because they might not feel comfortable.
Okay.
You know, like, are you legal? That would be the bottom line question.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a different question. You know.
You stumped me on that one.
No. Just do you have your legal documents in line or something?
Yeah,
you know,
that would be a good question.
And then they would ask, what documents? Oh, I don't know, but I know someone like that. You know, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I don't know that a lot of people have the right questions. They don't ask themselves the right questions.
Yeah.
If this lady is asking herself the right questions. Do I have a business plan?
Yeah.
But it goes way beyond a business plan.
So you could say, do you have, an example would be, do you have a legal plan?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, well, what does a legal plan mean?
Then I go, I don't know. Like every good chamber president. I don't know, but I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think I have many times been involved with small business owners that come to me almost embarrassed and say, "Oh, I know I should have talked to someone sooner," and I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And I try and dig a little bit deeper and find out what are the reasons.
What's the matter with you? No.
Well, just to find out what is keeping small business owners from seeking legal advice sooner. Sure. And many times it's cost. They have what I think is an unrealistic expectation of how much it's going to cost to set up their entity or to do a basic contract. And I think they're also just sort of afraid to really sort of open that Pandora's box, because it is scary. And that's one of the things that I try and do with my clients is that help them understand the risks without scaring them. Again, we are here to promote entrepreneurship and to encourage people to get into business, but to do it the correct way so that, you don't end up in a
and that's
bad
important.
situation.
That you said something I think that really matters, and that's, first of all, we are scared. I think for the most part, I'm trying to think back at why I didn't do it right away either, because I know that when I started the chamber, it was this whole thing that was so busy with stuff. That's part of it. That you start something. okay, let me just, in an effort to be as fully disclosed as possible. When we started this Chamber of Commerce, it was literally Friday we decided, Monday we were networking, like that, you know? Yep. So the thought that needs to go into the incorporation, the nonprofit, all that stuff came later.
Yeah.
Okay. When people start businesses, either they start them like I just told you, or they don't start them. They take they take a while.
Sure.
So wherever you are in the process, you do have to ask yourself, who's going to do our bookkeeping? Oh, Mary can do it. She went to high school. Okay. But you also have to ask yourself, are we protected legally? And I think it could be a cultural thing of small business owners that they just don't believe it's necessary right away.
Yeah, or maybe we definitely see
True.
all ends of the spectrum of business owners that are coming to me. Some of them are starting out from the very beginning and haven't even sold a single product. And I would say that's actually the rare. What can we do now?
How do I protect myself from that guy?
Yeah, well, that's not a bad. That's better than the further along, the more complicated things become. And again, then I also see business owners who are like, oh, okay, we now have an issue.
Right.
What can we do? And even if it's before there's a technical dispute, but something has arisen that they realized, okay, we should have had this looked
it's
at
the
before.
dream. The dream as a small business is that you start up your business and then you hire somebody, and then you move on to another thing because you're whatever you are, you're trying to become this big shot, which is perfect. You should have several businesses, and so you hire somebody to run this one thing, and then all of a sudden you think, okay, what am I doing with this person? Am I actually protected, or can she just take it if she wants to? And if you don't know whether or not that's the case, then you do have to talk to someone. And Lee, I wanted to ask you also, because some people in our chamber are involved with this organization where they have legal plans, because you mentioned a legal plan.
Yes.
With the company, I guess they're a nationwide company that do legal services.
Yes.
There are also employee benefits where they have legal plans, so to speak. What would you say the biggest difference is between an attorney like yourself and a legal plan?
Sure. So,
of those types.
I have not used a legal plan before. So what I can really speak to is that when you do use an attorney that you have hired personally, is that you're getting a customized solution for your business.
And is it faster, would you say? Probably.
I would guess. I really don't know. I would say, like anything else, that those types of plans, if they're being offered as a benefit for your employer, why not use it? Why not consider it and check it out and see if it's right for you and your business? There are all different needs that business owners have, and at a certain point in time, that may be fitting their needs, and at another point in time, they may want someone who gives a more customized solution, who knows more about the climate and the business sort of goings on where they are, and they may find that person.
So do you guys ever, like yourself, does your law firm, do you ever provide like seminars or workshops or stuff like that for people?
I haven't, but it's something that I definitely am interested in pursuing, because I do think that it's an area of a need.
Maybe we can do something down the road, because we hear this, we're a business organization. It's what we do, right? So we attract all kinds of businesses, and there's always the question, because I ask them those questions when they join. Do you have an attorney? Do you have an accountant? What kind of business, the viability of the business, just to see where we can help them most. And most people that join Chambers of Commerce are more worried about their marketing and about their sales than virtually anything else. But it doesn't mean that they have major concerns in other places that they just don't talk about right away.
Sure. And that's one of the things that business owners, I use this example a lot. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that the wage and hour law has changed. You don't know that there's now a policy that if you have a handbook that says employees are not allowed to discuss salaries, as of a couple of years ago, that's small business owners to keep up with.
Sure.
And when it comes to things like legal issues, tax issues, if you think that you can't afford that, then in my opinion, you should look at your budget again and maybe reallocate your budget, because what you can't afford is to get involved in a litigation and lose your business. That's what you can't afford.
So remember, everybody, it's not about you being able or not to afford something. It's about you being able or not to sell enough to afford something. But at the same time, you have to be smart with what you do with your money. There's some folks that joined our chamber a while ago. They shall remain nameless because obviously you'll see why. When they joined our chamber, they were a family of 6, and 3 of them were the top leader. You'll hear the problem they had. 4 of them wanted one thing, and the other 2 said no. And the other 2 that said no were 2 of the leaders. And so they were at the chamber. They were talking to us, and I was telling them, guys, you need to get a lawyer. But these guys only spoke Spanish. And with all their money they were making, they're making a lot of money. What they wanted to do first and foremost was buy vehicles. So they bought 5 trucks. And then not only did they buy 5 trucks, they also wrapped those trucks, right? So a wrap is about $3,000 to $5,000 per truck.
Wow.
Okay. And nobody could tell them otherwise. They had to do what they had to do. And right now they're out of business because they had such a great idea, but they had no legal counsel whatsoever. They basically had a good idea and knowledge. One guy had worked for a big company, and he's the guy that was fixing everything, So, we don't have to reiterate this too much for you as listeners. Just realize there is a legal way to make sure your business is successful, and you want to employ that way.
Exactly.
And that's all there is. So for right now, we're going to learn a lot more from Lee Freeman. She's a business attorney with us today on the Hispanic Chamber Connection. When we come back, we'll learn a lot more. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Does volunteering at a nonprofit horse sanctuary sound wonderful? Or are you a veteran or a veteran spouse and think trying a peer group session through a local Horses and Heroes equine program might be worth trying? Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary, located in Grand Central Park by appointment only, is home to a growing number of rescued and donated horses. Visit our website at henryshomehorsesanctuary.org or check out our Facebook at Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary for more information.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
We're back. We are back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show where we feature our members and make you visible, make you heard in the light, and hopefully, of course, make you successful. And that's what we want for you. So if you haven't been on the show, give me a buzz. Let me know. We'll put you on the list and you'll come on. We'll talk to you about whatever you have to talk about. And don't worry, it's no big deal. Most people, the biggest complaint I get, Lee, from the ladies on this program, why don't you have a mirror?
Yeah.
Because their hair gets messed up.
Yeah.
You were a little bit worried about your hair, but you handled
it. Headphones off and on is
a hair problem,
a hair issue.
A potential hair issue.
Exactly.
And it's funny because, you would think people would complain about so many other things, the distance, it's a little bit north of the Woodlands. And no, when they get here, it's where's the bathroom and where's my mirror?
Yeah.
So I can point at the bathroom and so I use my phone, or I just help them figure out a way to look the way they need to look.
To feel confident to continue on.
I had one lady the other day tell me, you're not going to put a picture of me on your Facebook unless I look cute. And I said, okay, check yourself out. She goes, that doesn't look cute. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it again. We took 3 pictures of her, but she was on Facebook finally. Okay. So I understand
you got there eventually.
Well, after 2 years of being yelled at, I know how to take pictures now.
Yes.
And I know that ladies don't like to be taken pictures of when they're eating.
Yes.
Or when they're moving their hands too much. They have to pose. There's a certain way they use their spinal cord.
Yes.
And, they do one of these things.
There's something with neck muscles
I have to be from above. That's why it's good to be tall. Because if the neck is not correctly positioned, there could be the possibility of one of those double chin, situations. That is no bueno.
No bueno.
I've probably been yelled at for all those reasons already. So I get it. And
you learned from your mistakes, so that's Kudos to you.
Getting yelled at is a good incentive to learn.
There you go.
So, and I have had people right after the show call me and say, take that picture out. Because I'll put like 3 pictures of someone, and the second one they don't like it, I'll just remove it. No big deal. So we're open. We will remove, because we know that this matters.
That's good.
Why we got on that tangent, I don't know.
No idea.
We're talking to an attorney here. What a waste of time, Carlos. But anyway, okay. So you have some stuff coming up. We were talking about this thing. I really am interested in doing some sort of seminar, because our strongest points, as a Chamber of Commerce, is the visibility of our members, marketing, some sales techniques, like real sales, right? Yes. Stuff like that. But I know that my weakness throughout life, are things like the organizational matters, the legal, HR, accounting, things like that, So if we had a seminar on starting your own business or something like that, and we brought in maybe an HR person that could talk a little bit about the manuals or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever HR people talk about these days, I'm not sure. I think that would be very valuable, because we could hit the bigger pillars of a business.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. That reminds me that we didn't actually make it to the third pillar of protecting your small business.
Yes.
So after you've incorporated, once you had your contracts both internally and externally reviewed, is then you need to make sure that your business is properly insured. So even though I am an attorney and obviously don't sell insurance, that's something that I always advise my clients, along with getting tax advice, is have you talked to an insurance agent who understands commercial insurance. Commercial insurance,
not the guy that does your car. And not Fred Lawyer, who takes away coverages to make you pay less.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about Fred Lawyer.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm not sure why I brought up Fred Lawyer. I don't work with him, so I don't know him. I don't know who he is.
Poor Fred, I'm sure he's...
Fred, we're just kidding, Fred. You're the man. Okay.
You're kidding.
So we're here with business attorney Lee Freeman. Lee, could you mention those 3 pillars again real quick?
So the 3 pillars to protect your small business are incorporation, having your contracts reviewed by an attorney, and getting proper commercial insurance.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. Lee Freeman is a business attorney. He's a member of our organization. We can talk. If you have any questions, please contact me directly. I'll be happy to direct you in other ways. That was very poorly said, but we thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week at the same time, 2 p.m. We appreciate your time. Lee, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And so we'll see you again. And this is Dr. Carlos Sanchez saying thank you and have a great week.